My name is Mamata, lecturer in economics. I am going to teach economics for class 11 and 12. The topic we are going to discuss today is sustainable development and effects of economic development on resources and environment. Ngasi aikoina khanagadoriba topic asi sustainable development haibaduni aduga economic development sina akogi resources amadi environment da kayamna akaiba pirapkege haibado madugi maramdani khwai ahanbada akoi environment haibase masi karino haibado hana khanagise. Environment is defined as the total planetary inheritance and the totality of all resources. It includes all the biotic and abiotic factors that influence each other, while all living elements, the birds, animals, plants, forests, fisheries, etc. are biotic elements. Abiotic elements include air, water, land, etc. Rocks and sunshine are all examples of abiotic elements of the environment. Environment haibasi akoina planets they the loina mausana pibiramaba porchasing akogi all resources mayam sing akoi thawai panba amade thawai pandaba elements sing mayam pulabasibune environment haibasi akogi thawai panbada birds, animals, plants, forests, fisheries yaure aruga thawai pandaba elements sing sidaida akoi air, water, land, rock, sunshine masina akainogi akoigi thawai pandaba elements sing aduni environment gi akoigi thawai panba amade thawai pandaba ani se amana ama da influence binaraga adumaina leiribani. Mathangda ekoi functions of environment se masi khanasi the environment performs four vital functions. Environment sina yamna maru oiba function mari pangthoi khwagi ahanbada it supply resources both renewable and non-renewable resources. Akoina machina supply toribasi akoida environment ge khwai ahan function se resources se masi supply toribani resources se makal ani sui renewable haiba maga non-renewable resources haibamga khwai ahan bada koi renewable resources habse masi kaino adu hana yengse. Renewable resources are those which can be used without the possibility of resource becoming depleted or exhausted. Examples: trees in the forest and fishes in the ocean. Akoigi renewable resources haibasina akoina sum seasonarga magi loiba khamban naibado adu nataba akoigi regenerate tawiyaba adugumba resources tubu akoina renewable resources kawi samna harabada akoigi forest da horiba trees sing je akoigi yanthat khroboisu amukhana u mayam thaba yaba haragi phibam do adum polak kapoy yaba adugumba condition leibaduni aruga ocean da leiba fishes sing je nga se dum pharga dum khara chathok khroboisu nga macha adum thadaraga sumaina mo regenerate the way abase masibuna renewable resources kawe aruga non-renewable resources habse masina kaino habido mukhana se. Non-renewable resources on the other hand are those which get exhausted with extraction and use. For example, fossil fuel. Non-renewable resources habesina akoina logthokraga akogi season na thokraga loiba naiba do adubu non-renewable resources kawi example da harga akoi fossil fuel habedi coal gumba arge petroleum natural gas moising se example ni non-renewable se moise logthoga season narabadi moise loiba naiba adugumba resources ni masibu non-renewable resources kawi adna environment gi khwai ahanba function se environment sina akoida koi resources non-renewable and renewable resources se mase akoida supply to bosine ani suba function amu yengse. Ani suba function da it accumulates waste service akoina production ki waste bo oibai adagi consumption ki waste bo oibai akoina season naraga hundoropa arem akha phatauti mayam se mase environment sina chupsan bangame masina environment sigi ani suba function ni arage ahum subada it sustains life by providing genetic and biodiversity. Masina akoigi ahingba life form mayam se support orga leini genetic provide todana aduga biodiversity mayam haibadi makhan mathengi uchek oya aragi sanga ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯃꯅꯥ ꯃꯁꯤꯡ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤꯅ environmentsꯅ provide ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ life form ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ support ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯃꯔꯤꯁꯨꯕ functionsꯤꯅ it also provides aesthetic services like scenery etc. ꯃꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯐꯖꯕ sceneryꯁꯦ ꯃꯤꯑꯣꯏꯕꯗ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯒ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ ꯄꯤꯕ ꯄꯨꯛꯅꯤꯡ ꯋꯥꯈꯜ ꯁꯥꯟꯇꯤ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯑꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯐꯖꯕ sceneryꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤ environmentꯅ ꯄꯤꯔꯤꯕꯅꯤ so these are the vital four functions performed by the environment aduna mathakta pangriba makhal mari se masini environment na akoida piriba functions singse the environment is able to perform these functions without any interruption as long as the demand on these functions is within its carrying capacity aduna environment na mathakta pangriba functions mari se phajana adum perform tawba ngamgani karamba mongda akoige miyoi basina environment dagi demand tawba resources demand tawba se environment sina mana carrying capacity mana pibu ngamba capacity do adugi manungda sum tawroboidi haibani this implies that the resource extraction is not above the rate of regeneration of the resource and the waste generated are within the assimilating capacity of the environment machine haibadi aikoina resource lothoga season naba matamda magi regeneration toba capacity do adugi mathakta hena lothoga season aroidabani habni adagi waste hundokpa matamda su akoigi environment na ma chupsan bangamba capacity do adudagi hena hundo when this is not so, the environment fails to perform its third and the vital functions of life sustenance and this result in an environmental crisis. Aduna mathak kisubu hek tawdraba akoina environments dagi mai regenerate tawba ngamba chance de hen extract tawraba adu oraboidi magi environment na magi yam baru oiba third function life ahing ba jiwa mayam main support orba magi function se masida akaiba lakani adudagi de environmental crisis haibado adum leirani haba masigi mathangda akoina khana gadurubesi effects of economic development on resources and environment haibesini masina development tawbasina akoigi resources ta adagi environment da kari akaiba thoke haibado madugi maramda khanasi number 1 the rising population of the developing countries and the affluent consumption and production standard of the developed world have placed a huge stress on the environment in terms of its first two functions that is supply of resources and assimilation of waste etc. Akoigi developing countries da koi population se yam hengalakpa adagi di affluent moigi advanced countries sing sidaidana moigi consumption level se yamna hengalakpa hadi moidi chokotba countries sing sina consumption level se yam heli variety of foods dagi kari dagi adagi di moina luxury items mayam puthokba khotokba adagi efficient of technology mayam seasonaba khosanaba sigi pulap developing countries dagi population yam wang hengalakpasine adai developed countries na resources yam seasonaba se masigi moi consumption hengalakpa adai production yam hengalakpa masi maram ani sina environment sida choba stress ama pibasina kamai tawe habda masigi pilibasina environment da perform tawriba ahanba function akoi resource supply toba adagidi magi waste absorb toba ngambagi chang do madudaida problem mayam ama thohole eba environment seida many resources have become extinct and the waste generated are beyond the absorptive capacity of the environment adna sumain torokodagidi hana leramba mai resources singse ya mutki basu yaure adagidi ma moigi hundorokpa waste mayam se masina environment sina mana absorb tawbangamba capacity do adudagi hendor eba samna harga akoi hojik akoi gi state so dum yengse thaina akoi gi mi se yamdringai matam dadi akoi gi masa gi inkol se chaunari ngai matam se dadi waste sing se hundokna na ba kom torome kom se da akoi gi na cha bathak pagi injang na pe makum mayam do dai da sum hapchalani are ngasai kom de thala kanda leibak nom kupsalani adu thala kanda atopo kom torani atopo kom dai da amuk anouba singto sum hapchalani ngasai ge anouba tobo komduna phulakpa matamdadi hanagido adum masana absorb tograga har ongrani sumaina mage environment na man absorb tobo capacity haise masine ba sumai sum balance tawro legedobni ado hojikti khogi status ta su mi masing yankhalabnina mai hangba jaga gum se lertam banina moigi west mayam se hekta turen khongbang khangde lambi gi jaga ni khangde masa haidok tana pai paidana leri se masiso environment gi magi khal kaitharapagi example amane ba koi own states ta so the past development has polluted and dried up rivers and other aquifers making water on economic goods adagidi past development torumba singsin hasu kamai tawi pollution am thoe adagidi turen gasu kange adagi kaino adai other aquifers na so making water and economic goods sigum mayam sina magi akai ba mayam se lae adagidi third subada the intensive and the extensive extraction of both renewable and non-renewable resources has exhausted some of the vital resources, and we are compelled to spend huge amounts on technology and research to explore new resources. Aduna akoigi resources se lokthokpa matamda hana lokthokpa jaga gi so adum leiriba kai lokthokpa aduda gi sigi su matakta mafam atopa resource level jaga sing su thi tuna sum chauthok tuna sum lauthokpa renewable resources so non-renewable resources so sumai tawdagidi kamai tawra yamna important oba resources kharade pura exhaust ore pura loigre adna akoi se force ta huge amounts of money se muk tinga kadoba technology anoba karamba technology research tawdana anoba resource masi thina bo honabada paisa muk yam tinge haba. Then added to above are the health costs of degraded environmental quality, decline in air and water quality have resulted in increased incidence of respiratory and waterborne diseases. Hence, health expenditure is also rising. Aduna mathakta hairiba environment da kaitharak pase si mayam sina koi health cost so amna tinghalle samna harga ising sengdre adagi nungsit sengdre masina disease mayam thorotana akoigi sor honbadaga waba adagi waterborne diseases mayam se masi thore masina masi mu layeng naba honabada mu akoigi health expenditure se masi yamna tinghalle to make matters worse global warming and ozone depletion also contributes to increased financial commitments of the for the government. Aduna masidagi amukse hena sokchanna kamai tawe global warming thoe ozone depletion thoe global warming habese akogi prithivigi temperature average da magi sabagi changse sum hengalai ne masi kaido bagi no habda masi mioi bana tohon bane maroina deforestation tawwa umang kokthokpa adagidi coal kari gara fuel mayam se thabagi smoke mayam se masina akoi prithivigi sabagi magi average temperature se sum hengalai ne adagi ozone depletion ozone layer ga se patharak tana akoi skin disease ga thokna bagi maram go oiba sigum mayam se masina so mu government da hena paisa tinghana bagi maram ama oihalleba harike environment and economy are interdependent and need each other. Development that ignores its repercussions on the environment will destroy the environment that sustains life form. What is needed is sustainable development. Aduna environment ga economy ga sidi amada depend tawnaraga amana amma darkar oinaraga lainabani development karamba development no haibada masina environment da kyam kairakada ge kyam kaige kaise masi khandadana tawba development do amaduna environment da yam akaiba thokani akoi life form mama hinghandana tawriba environment se masibu destroy toganeba adna development da karamba makhalgi development togadagi haiba matamda akoina togado se sustainable development haibse masi togadabani adudi sustainable development haibse masi karamba makhalgi development no haibido adu mu gyanga seba. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is the development that will allow all future generations to have a potential average quality of life that is at least as high as that which is being enjoyed by the current generation. Sustainable development haibse karamba makhalgi development no haibada akogi future da lakadoba generation se sina akoi hojik akogi generation sina enjoy toriba life se standard se masiga chap manana moiso tungda hingbang ngamnanaba mogi thambiramba adugumba makhalgi development do adubu sustainable development ko weba. For example akoina hojik akoigi generation se masi darkar leibase masi dang khandana masi jik nuairaga loire na future gi khandana akoigi resources kumbase ekta chingthoktana khotoktana hojik ki nungainaba hojik ki darkar leibase masi dang thungnanaba honaba adugumba makhalgi development do madu toroidabani havani hojik akoina darkar leiba phangibase sumaina future da lakpa generation sing do aduna so chap manana phangnanaba adugumba makhalgi development do adu tawgadabani havani. The concept of sustainable development was emphasized by the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, which defined it as development that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. And United Nations Conference on Environment and Development masina sustainable development se kamai define toge have matamda hojik akoigi generation se masina darkar leiba meet sing do madu thunghan bani akoina future da leiba generation do adugi moisu moi own darkar leiba do adu thunghanaba thambiraba da kaimta akaiba thokhandana haibani sustainable development se adagidi amana it was bavier na amana sustainable development se my own the sumaina define the way it was bavier defined sustainable development as one which is directly concerned with increasing the material standard of living of the poor at the grassroots level. This can be quantitatively measured in terms of increased income, real income, educational services, healthcare, sanitation, and water supply. And it was bavier na haibadi sustainable development haibase karamba makhalgi development no haibda koi grassroots leiba poor people se moigi standard of living se masi wangkhat hana bo hona bane karamba mongda moigi real income ga se hengat handana adagide education services kase pidana healthcare adagi sanitation ade water supply sigum mayam se moida fanghalaga grassroots level da leiriba mi sing se moigi standard che masi fagat hana bo hona bodo madu sustainable development mana magi motpe. In more specific terms, sustainable development aims at decreasing the absolute poverty of the poor by providing lasting and secure livelihoods that minimize resource depletion, environmental degradation, cultural disruption, and social instability. Aruga samna akogi specific term the haradi sustainable development aim tauribase akogi absolute poverty se masi handahan bani moida yam lasting oiba adagi yam secure oiba livelihood piraga akogi resource depletion ga se thokmandana environmental degradation ga se thokmandana samna haradi matang se panjaning base akogi poverty se yamna pak san lerabodi masi environmental degradation se masi thoi kaino have the millions of poor rural area da leribase moigi maru ebase akogi singna chak nung thongba sigumba se tawbanina deforestation tawase masi yamna mass poverty lebase masiga yamna mari lainai aduna moigi livelihood phagatna ba moigi condition phagatna ba hotna ba environmental degradation je masi thoktana ka haibase masini aruga resource deplete ka tawriba kholo bise mass poverty siga adum yamna mari lainai ana moigi condition je yamna long lasting oiba yam secure livelihood ama piraga koi poverty se masi handhanaba tawbani hana magi motpe. The Brundtland Commission emphasizes on protecting the future generation. This is in line with the argument of the environmentalists who emphasize that we have a moral obligations to hand over the planet Earth in good order to the future generation. And the Brundtland Commission na de akogi future generation ki damakta environment se pachana ngak sen gadabne na thammi argo mase akoi environmentalist moigi mota sumaina akoi hojik ki generation se mase gi tawda yadraba akoi gi ithawne akoina future generation da yamna condition phaba yam good art ama moida sinaramba haibase haibane that is the present generation should bequeath a better environment to the future generation haibadi akoi gi hojiki current generation hojiki present generation se masina future generation da yamna phaba dugma better environment amda ama moida piram gadabani haibani. According to Herman Daly, a leading environmental economist, To achieve sustainable development, the following needs to be done. Ana Harmen Dali haba akoge yam leading environmental economy se masina akoi se sustainable development toge harabadi toba tarabadi makha man points kar piri masi phasana ingadabani habani kari point oise khana se number 1 da limiting the human populations to a level within the carrying capacity of the environment haibani hadi aikoina population hengat pai chang se karai bobo hengat kadage haiba matamda aikoge environment se mana carry to ngamba capacity do arugi chang da hengat kadabani haibani aragi ani shubadana technological progress should be input efficient and not input consuming akoige technological progress da akoi input season abse yamna any kind of wastage masi tawdaba avoid tawba aduga hariba input sidagi maximization output akoige loba yaba output to madu puthokna ba hona gadamni masina akoige input se yamna efficient oina season nagadamni haibani aduga man not in input consuming habse input se ekta pangsi da season aba aduga akoige wastage tawba khotpa masigum makhal gise masi tawroidabani habani. Number 3, renewable resources should be extracted on a sustainable basis. That is, the rate of extraction should not exceed the rate of regeneration. Renewable resources masi lawthokpa matamdasu aikogi environment na ma na regenerate tawba ngamba capacity do adugi level do adudagi hen lawtho oidabani haba aduna masi hek lawthodi magi environment khal karapa environmental crisis do adu lakadori neba. For non-renewable resources, rate of depletion should not exceed the rate of creation of renewable substitutes, and inefficiencies arising from pollution should be corrected. Aduna non-renewable se lothoga season abai chang deplete togi chang sina akoina ngasai non-renewable se masigi mahut sinaba atopa substitute ama create tobodo adugi chang do adubo badang extract tobodabni habani aduga pollution thoiba mayam air pollution oibe water pollution thoibe bi masigi mayam se masi correct tonaba hotnagadabani habani aduna for today let's do up to this only. In our next class, let's discuss the environmental condition of India as well as strategies of sustainable development. For today, let's do up to this, and thank you. Let's meet again in the next class.